So it's great to have you back on the show. And I want to get straight into our questions.
Sure.
I want to talk about visas.
Yes.
There's a lot of talk surrounding people with visas being expired, right? And then they're staying here in the U.S. So what are some common reasons people are remaining here in the country?
Okay, that's a great question. There are a lot of different reasons why somebody who would come, for example, on a tourist status or even on a school status, student visa, and overstay. For a student visa, for example, if they come, they have to pay international tuition, and they're not allowed to work. Sometimes what happens, there's incidents that go back home in their family and they lose money, they lose the ability to pay the tuition, and then they get into a very destitute situation where they can't go back to their country. They've invested so much money here in the United States, and there's nothing back home for them, so they continue to remain in the United States unlawfully, even though they entered legally in order to pursue a profession. But life happens and there's no recourse for them. When it comes to people who come here for tourist status, most common reasons I see are if they come here to visit a loved one or a relative and then they end up becoming their caretaker. That's one reason. Another reason is if, for example, they have a relative here and that relative has petitioned for them, but the wait time is 10, 15 years, and they don't want to leave that relative, so they continue to stay here undocumented. Of course, if they come here and then they meet someone and fall in love and they think that they're going to get married and that person says, no, stay, don't go, but then the marriage doesn't go anywhere, then they fall out of status. So there's a lot of different personal human reasons that are involved in somebody's decision to violate their I-94, to violate their period of authorized stay. And then what happens is when it's violated, they know they're not going to be allowed to ever come back to the U.S., pretty much.
Ooh, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword that we're dealing with.
Yes, and depending on how long you've overstayed, for example, if you've overstayed more than what we say 180 days but less than 1 year, you have a 3-year ban. If you overstay in the U.S. for more than 1 year and you leave, you are banned from entering for 10 years.
And I think, what would be your biggest advice for someone who is inching towards the end of their visa and hasn't done the proper protocol? What can they do?
Well, at that point, they need to contact an experienced immigration attorney to have a proper conversation so that that attorney can go through all of their background, all of their personal history, immigration history, and try to find some type of solution, or at least give them the proper information and guidance so that person can make the right decision for themselves.
Where can we find you? Because you are one of those proper legal advisors.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. You can find us on our website at www.us-ilc.com, also on our social medias at immigration_attorney_SAM, and you can always call us. We're open 7 days a week at 954-589-1180.
Such a great conversation. I hope we got some questions answered for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.